Good afternoon, everyone. We're excited to be here to celebrate the 38th Annual BC Export Awards and to celebrate the success of British Columbian companies exporting Canadian goods all over the world. My name is Kirk Lapointe. I'm the publisher and the editor-in-chief of BIV, where we provide essential business information and events to help our readers engage, interact, and succeed. I'd like to begin today by acknowledging that the land on which we're gathering is the unceded territory of the Coast Salish people, including the territories of the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh nations. We're here today to honor top businesses for leading the charge in bringing the province's expertise to the world and to acknowledge these exporters as they are industry champions, corporate role models who stimulate greater involvement in exporting among all facets of the province's business communities. Our nominees today comprise businesses in all sectors to endeavor and deliver quality BC goods to new markets in the global arena. These finalists have done an exemplary job in an incredibly competitive environment, particularly this year, and they contribute to our quality of life in this beautiful province. Exporting and global trade really makes a significant impact on our provincial economy, our standard of living, and our collective future. The companies we present to you today are truly inspiring, and we thank them for their incredible contribution to this province. We're pleased to partner with the British Columbian government on this virtual event, and of course, we regret doing so virtually. And we'll be back next year, we think, with an in-person event. I was privileged to sit on this year's judging panel, and I'd like to give thanks to my fellow judges, Andrew Wynne Williams of the Canadian Manufacturers and Exporters, Jim Anholt of the BC government, and Alison Bolton of Export Navigator for their insight and expertise in helping us reach our conclusions today. It's time to present the first award of the day in advanced technology in that category. For this, I'm going to introduce the BC Minister of State for Trade, George Chow.
The advanced technology category recognizes companies with excellence in processes, products, or services that are at the leading edge of their industry in our province. They are driving our innovation and generating strong markets globally for their world-class visions. Their efforts are sending a strong signal of BC's capacity to compete on the international stage in an array of industries. Here's Hayley Wooden to talk about this year's nominees.
Enwave is first to successfully bring together vacuum and microwave technologies for commercial use. Their innovative and patented REV technology dehydrates food and organics far quicker than previously possible, which results in dramatically reduced processing time and costs, less spoilage, and the ability to develop foods that are healthier, tastier, and have a longer shelf life. Global Relay is the leading provider of cloud-based archiving, supervision, e-discovery, and analytics solutions for the global finance sector and other highly regulated industries. The company helps financial services firms capture and preserve their electronic communications for compliance record-keeping and supervision. Global Relay has more than 20,000 customers around the world, including 22 of the top 25 global banks. Quadrogen Power Systems is a clean tech company that designs, builds, and installs cost-effective gas cleanup and upgrading solutions for the industrial and renewable energy sector. Their proprietary technologies allow clients to turn waste biogas and syngas into valuable green products and resources. Currently, the company is commissioning the world's first HEX generation project in Delta.
And the winner is Global Relay.
Congratulations, Global Relay. And to accept the award, I'd like to ask Global Relay's Director of Operations, Kelvin Ng, to say a few words. So Kelvin, please unmute yourself and say a few words.
Thank you so much, Kirk. This is truly an honor for us, and I'm delighted to be joining you today. And I congratulate all the others who were finalists in this competition. They're truly deserving companies and businesses. Global Relay's been around for about 21 years. We're very delighted to have experienced some good success over this period of time, but to maintain Vancouver and British Columbia as our home. This is still where the bulk of our employees reside. We have 600 people in our Vancouver Gastown offices, and over the last I guess 4 or 5 years, we've really made some inroads in I guess, on the global stage. In London, we started out with about 3 people a number of years ago, and even 3 years ago, we only had about 20 employees, and today we are just tapping on 200. And of course, as we grow, we generate revenues that come right back to British Columbia. You saw in the presentation both our head office in Gastown, where we occupy pretty much 5 full floors of office space. And then there was a little bit of a clip of our data center facility up in North Vancouver. So we are truly a homegrown business, and we're delighted to be able to step out, wave the flag for BC, and hopefully kind of pioneer for other businesses here as well. We work closely with BC Tech and to try to support some of their initiatives. And once again, thank you very, very much. This is really just a source of pride for us to be British Columbians.
Well, Kelvin, thanks so much for this. I think maybe a little bit of improvisation here will go a long way today and with our event over the hour. But I just wanted to ask you one question about the pandemic and what kind of challenge it's been for you as a company, and how it is that you've managed to stay resilient through all of it.
Well, a couple of things happened. I mean, it was about a year ago where we closed down our offices and sent all our staff home. So it was a combination of things. One was absolutely a top tier team. Our network operations people literally worked around the clock to equip hundreds of people on a global basis. And they got everybody everything they needed to kind of carry on. The second thing is the fact that we kind of had the resiliency as a private organization to understand that the pandemic might impact our supply chain. So we got ahead of the game. We invested quite significantly in buying ahead of the curve. And so we kind of spent our budget. We didn't anticipate having to spend immediately, but we took that step and kind of got ahead of the curve on that front as well. And so more than anything, though, I mean, you know, who could have predicted it would have lasted this long? But yeah, we just kind of, there's a lot of teamwork, and we just hunkered down. And as I say, being private, we can, I guess, make decisions fairly quickly. And that has definitely helped us. And we have grown through this situation.
Interesting, eh? I mean, last little thing then. And so you feel like some stability has arrived for you?
I wouldn't quite say stability. We're still living and learning on a daily basis, but you know, the other major component I think that has helped us through this is the fact that we're a cloud-based technology. So we're pretty accustomed to doing things remotely and serving our customers, as well as you know, having staff who are accustomed to working in a number of global locations. So we've learned to collaborate in a virtual world, and that has definitely been of benefit to us through these trying times.
Well, congratulations, Kelvin, and congratulations to the team at Global Relay.
Thank you so much, Kirk.
Our second award in this is in the category of emerging exporter, and it's given to a newer firm making a large impression abroad. Again, I'm going to hand over the introduction and announcement to Minister George Chow.
Our second award today is in the emerging export category. This award recognizes a company that has made its initial entry into an export market and achieved notable early success. The award acknowledges the company's ability to overcome obstacles in order to expand its potential markets and grow its business through export. They have their fingers on the pulse of the emerging markets and the latest product. And this year, our 3 finalists continue this tradition. Let's meet our 3 nominees.
Big Mountain Foods is proudly owned and operated by a mother-daughter duo. All products are gluten, nut, and soy-free, certified vegan, non-GMO, and sold fresh at retailers including Kroger, Whole Foods, and Loblaws. Big Mountain Foods is expanding into a 70,000 square foot facility to scale up production capacity. By 2022, the company plans to run a zero-waste facility. MetaOptima is a digital health company that strives to empower patients and care providers with intelligent solutions for faster and more accurate care. The company created DermEngine, an advanced dermatology platform for imaging, documentation, and analysis of skin conditions, including skin cancers. Powered by artificial intelligence, the system allows clients around the world to better manage their workflows. Mimic is a pioneering hybrid edge cloud company. The company's technology enables edge devices to act as servers, allowing data to get processed closest to the point of creation and consumption. Mimic offers developers the ability to process data directly on consumers' devices, reducing latency and increasing data privacy.
And the winner is Big Mountain Foods.
Congratulations, Big Mountain Foods, on the award in the Emerging Exporter category. I'd like to invite Jasmine Byrne, the Vice President of Big Mountain Foods, to accept the award and to say a few words. Jasmine, unmute yourself, let your video be free, and let's hear from you.
Hi, everyone. Wow. I'm actually a little bit blown away. I wasn't expecting to win this award, just because MetaOptima technology and Mimic technology also have some fantastic innovation and technology. And yeah, there was big competition this year. On behalf of Big Mountain Foods, I'm so honored to accept this award. The Emerging Export Award is so important to us, and such an honor as we expand our business currently across the border. Big Mountain Foods, as we mentioned, is moving into a 70,000 square foot facility today. I'm actually sitting in our new boardroom, and this is my first Zoom meeting in the new boardroom. So the irony of winning this award, as well as expanding so we can meet consumer demand, is just phenomenal. And this award really shows that we're moving Big Mountain Foods in the right direction. So thank you, Business in Vancouver, for nominating us and allowing us to win this award.
Well, Jasmine, while I've got you there in your new digs, which look pretty nice, you're probably going to need a couple of more plants in the background there for you, but that's okay.
I didn't have time to fill up the shelves yet.
Oh no, I'm sure you will. But it's so interesting that you could keep proceeding with this kind of expansion when you've got this sort of potential big deal interruption. So were there some decisions to make in all of this about whether to slow it down, whether to hold off, anything like that?
Mm-hmm. Well, with Big Mountain, we all saw the customers started to go crazy impulse buying at the grocery stores. So we didn't notice our sales go down, but what we did pick up on was that our current facility was running too small for COVID restrictions. So that really pushed us to finalize this new facility, because we were having to do extra shifts, night shifts, weekend shifts, to try to, have all the COVID protocol in place. And we've been really lucky to not have an outbreak in our facility. And we have great quality assurance on our team that's making sure everyone's safe. But a lot more people eating at home has definitely been positive on our growth.
Yeah, definitely. But I'm interested also in the effort that you had to make to deal with your space, because a lot of places have had less success than you're having in terms of dealing with space in order to keep production going at a level that meets demand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we've been running 7 days a week, shorter shifts, not crossing. We have full second shift employees that we had to bring on. So it's been tough and challenging, and I'm glad we're in the new facility to help with that.
You don't sound tired. but but probably your voice is about a half octave lower than it was a year ago, right?
Yes, well, actually downstairs I had to run up here and put on a suit jacket because I was helping them stage all the equipment downstairs in the plant. So a lot of moving parts right now.
It is a lot of moving parts, but this is a new phase for your company. And do you have an objective in 2021 and 2022 about how large you can become?
Yes, our goal right now for sales is to go tenfold, and we have some amazing innovation that I can't speak about right now, but you'll see it on shelves hopefully by Q4 of this year. It's really going to set the stage for the plant-based industry, and we're so excited to launch it.
Yeah, you're one of the few places where people are truly excited about the situation in this environment, right?
Yes, plant-based is booming, and I don't think it's going away.
No, clearly not. And British Columbia, as you know, has had a very good history in embracing this and getting ahead of where a lot of the rest of the country, the rest of the continent has gone.
Mm-hmm. Vancouver, BC, actually, we have so much innovation and amazing companies that have come out and are now exporting globally. So it's great to be a part of such an awesome network of people here locally.
Well, I'm not going to interrupt your work unduly. I'm going to let you get back to it, although you have to hang in because we still have the exporter of the year. So we probably have to stay put at least to the top of the hour. But Jasmine, thanks so much. Congratulations today to Big Mountain Foods.
Thank you.
So we have 3 more awards left on today's program. But first, I had a chance to spend some time with Minister Chow to talk about BC's trade approaches and some of the strategies that are there during the pandemic. For the next few minutes, here's our conversation. Minister Chow, the pandemic changed a lot of things for all of us in the world. I want to know what you feel it changed around the export strategy for the province.
Well, I think it will change our strategy going forward. But right now, we also change our strategy, how we actually help the businesses. So we're helping the business, doing virtual online assistance. So this is what we're focusing on, also helping the business to navigate the provincial and federal help for the COVID strategies that both governments have put out. And this is what we are primarily focused on. And we also will be focusing on the trade diversification strategy for British Columbia going forward, because now the world is going to be different. I think our trading partner is going to be different. The economies are going to be different. So this is what we're focusing on.
Good. I want to get into a bit of that with you, but I wanted to find out, first of all, how the government felt it needed to respond when the pandemic came.
Yes, we definitely need to respond because particularly with regard to the service and also the tourism industry, because it's hard hit. So we really need to respond to that. And but of course, our main focus, of course, is get the pandemic under control, because without getting that under control, it's not going to help in terms of getting back to our business, well, let alone talking about international travel, but just domestic consumption and domestic travel. This is our main focus, is making people safe and making our seniors safe. And that's really the overriding strategy right now.
You alluded to the fact that governments have stepped in with a lot of programs, and it's very clear that at senior levels of government there has been quite a bit of support for businesses. But I want, about a year into this now, to get an assessment from you of the strengths and the challenges for the export environment for British Columbia businesses.
I think the main challenge for us for the export environment is basically the world economy is just not recovering yet. So our export sales is dependent on how good our export market doing. So In fact, that's the reason why our export is down 10%, say, compared to last year. But other than that, I think everything is still going well. I think our export in agri-food and seafood and some of the biosciences are doing well. And I think it's really certain sectors that are being challenged. But I think looking at now that the US has a new government and a new administration and the world trade environment is different, we need a different strategies. And I think we are going along with that. How do we will be doing some consultation in order to our stakeholders, what we should be doing in order to sell our products around the world. We have a lot of things to offer in terms of green technology and, our products that are based on very, very green management. Our Green BC plan is a plus in terms of producing the product. So we are, we're doing okay in terms of export for now, but we need to diversify. I think that's what we need to going forward.
So as the government consults the industry and takes a look at what the opportunities are in all of this, are you approaching this with any new thinking about how government needs to support exporters? Anything that you've learned in the pandemic you think that raises the opportunity to have some new programming or some new initiatives?
Well, of course, now we have our existing programming. For example, the program with the Greater Vancouver Board of Trade, the Trade Accelerator program is a great program whereby we select companies that are already exporting but could use a bit of more advance in strategy, and that's what we're doing. And for ourselves, we also have the Export Navigators program. And I think going forward, I really think that we need to have a thorough conversation of our stakeholders as to what our BC economy is like and what's it like going forward in 5 years, 10 years time, and how do we want to do business and how do we actually want to drive our economy. I think that's one of my mandate letter is to come up with the trade diversification strategy, including different kind of industry. And I think we're working on a work plan right now, and that would be coming forward.
I want to ask a couple of questions about our two largest trading partners, and I'll start with the United States. Of course, we're only in the first few weeks of a Biden administration. You can see some evidence that the president is going to be focusing quite a bit on, say, Buy America programs, and that a lot of ways we're going to probably have to deal with that as a province. But what are the early signals you think British Columbia is getting out of President Biden and his administration about the relationships that we'll have as British Columbians in that market?
Well, as you know, the U.S. is our greatest trading partner, and when we really rely on cooperation and understanding between Canada and U.S. And we have not had a chance to talk yet. Both Minister Kahlon and myself will be talking to the U.S. Consulate General, and of course, our Prime Minister has also talked to the President as well. And I think it's very important that we get our message across that being British Columbia is a good trading partner for the U.S. And I think we want to make sure that our product has good access to the U.S. market, and that it would be in a cooperative manner rather than actually fighting each other.
Mm-hmm. And of course, China and the uncertainty that's there. And now you've spent a lot of your career really focused very well on China. You would probably be in the provincial cabinet, one of the experts on this. Again, what are the signals that you're seeing at the moment out of China? Because obviously there's a lot at play there, and there's a lot at stake for British Columbian exporters in trying to ensure that they continue to have a strong relationship there?
Yes, China is our second largest trading partner, and I think we really have, in terms of international relations, we would look to the federal government to deal with that issue. But domestically in British Columbia, we have a great advantage in that we are on the Pacific. Not only that, we are sister province to the province of Guangdong, which is really an economic engine for the People's Republic of China, and we would actually try to deepen that relationship because our export to China, and the top, of course, is commodity such as mineral and forest product, but we also could offer other things, services, cultural services, and also our engineering services, our green tech. So we wanted to deepen that relationship. And one of the things that we're doing is that we're changing the way we're doing business in nation. Before, we have these contractors who actually work for the British Columbia government, but we're changing that to be an employee model. And these employees will be hired, they'll be stationed at our embassies and consulates offices. And working with the trade commissioners of Canada, I think we would actually get better return on the money we spend trying to get trade. And I think it's also very important to know that we are, for China, for example, we should be moving away from the coastal city more into the interior because there is actually more opportunity there. Even in terms of housing, I think the interior, they don't always build with concrete. And I think we're trying to establish ourselves as a premium supplier for engineering wood products like mass timber, and trying to establish a building system that we could export to them so that they could actually put up housing quickly, but also with an eye to the environment. Of course, China really want to reduce the greenhouse gas emission. So I think that's basically our plan, and hopefully we could go forward with the leadership of the federal government in terms of our national relation.
Last question, Minister. You alluded to the diversification that's necessary, and you're quite right. The United States is our largest partner. China is our second largest partner. But where do you see the biggest openings for British Columbia in terms of enhancing its trade relationships with other countries and regions of the world? Where do we go fishing here?
Well, I think we should be looking at some of the ASEAN nations, such as Vietnam. It's really going well. And the other one that I believe that's doing well, it's Indonesia as well as the Philippines. Those are the market that we should be exploring. And I think we will be putting some focus on that. So, this is our focus now as a world. And of course, the other two partners as well, like Japan, our third largest trading partner, in Korea, will be, continuing trading with them, and India as well, and Taiwan, for example, it's a great trading partner. So we should be looking at all these nations and not really just focus on a handful. I think we're a middle economy, so I think with our reputation in the world, we could actually sell to these equivalent economy much better than we can sell to a bigger economy. And I think we could actually supply turnkey products, including our engineering expertise. There's in mining, in forestry, in environmental sciences, water treatment, all these we could actually play to when we go to some of the economy that are more equivalent to ours in terms of size.
Well, I want to thank you today for joining us at the BC Export Awards, for the support that you're giving the export community, and thanks again for your time.
Well, thank you. Yeah, thank you for your interviews.
Our thanks to the Minister of State for Trade, George Chow, and welcome back to the 38th BC Export Awards. I'm Kirk Lapointe, publisher and editor-in-chief of BIV. Our next category is in manufactured products, and I'd like to welcome To make the presentation, the BC Minister for Jobs, Innovation and Economic Recovery, Ravi Kahlon.
The Manufactured Products Award recognizes a company that builds innovative systems or value-added components, machinery, and/or equipment for industrial and commercial use. Value-added manufacturing is a vital aspect of our industry, supplying jobs and stimulus to our economy. Our finalists today represent organizations that are committed to our community and our province for their goods and production. Let's take a look at the finalists for this year.
Artron has two divisions that cater to different segments of the in vitro diagnostic industry. Artron Bioresearch provides raw materials, and Artron Laboratories uses these to manufacture a range of innovative rapid test kits and uncut sheets. Products are mainly exported to IVD industry manufacturers and distributors in Europe, Asia, Latin America, Africa, and the Middle East. BE Power Equipment is a leading global manufacturer of commercial and industrial pressure washers, air compressors, power generators, and water pumps. BE is focused on designing quality products and delivering exceptional service while remaining innovative. The company has grown to be 3 times the size of any pressure washer manufacturer in Canada. With more than 80 years of experience, KALESNIKOFF produces some of the highest quality engineered timber solutions for a global market. The company is North America's most advanced, vertically integrated, multi-species mass timber manufacturer. By leveraging their production facilities and integrated timber supply, KALESNIKOFF is able to manage products, reduce waste, and optimize value.
And the winner is KALESNIKOFF.
Well, congratulations to KALESNIKOFF, and I want to invite to say a few words Ken KALESNIKOFF, who is, of course, with the company. Ken, join us. Unmute yourself there, and let's talk.
Thank you very much. I'd like to thank you for this incredible honor, and congratulations to all of the other nominees in this category. We're very pleased to be named BC's top exporter of manufactured products. This acknowledgement comes a year after KALESNIKOFF opened our industry-leading mass timber facility and launched our line of mass timber products. This award builds on how we've built our global markets over 4 decades and how our success keeps adding up, even during the global pandemic. As a 4th-generation family-owned business, we have 81 years of history in the lumber industry. We've been global exporters since the 1980s. And have a rich background in exporting, with as much as 80% of our products going to global markets outside of the US in any one year. From the time my great-grandfather and great-grand-uncle started the business, the KALESNIKOFF family has been innovating, adapting to changing times, and investing in the future. That's why our sawmill continued to thrive at times when mills around the province were closing down. And that's why we expanded into becoming North America's only fully integrated multi-species mass timber provider. We manage our entire timber supply chain, all the way from the seedlings we plant to the mass timber solutions we build and design for our world-class facility. With our mass timber offerings, we are creating new, highly skilled jobs, investing in technology, and supporting our communities, as well as our wonderful employees. We're proud to add substantial value to our product locally in BC before serving the markets of the world. Our mass timber is being used for schools, community housing, university, residents, commercial buildings, and more. Our mass timber is being used throughout North America and beyond. We are excited to be working on our first mass timber project in India and are looking forward to expanding into markets in Japan, as well as other Asia Rim countries. Thank you again for naming us the Manufactured Products Exporter of the Year. We appreciate this honor and are looking forward to a very positive future. Thank you again to the business in Vancouver for holding these esteemed awards to recognize leading exporters or export businesses in the province. I'd also like to take the opportunity to thank Minister Chow for advocating for BC exporters, reducing barriers to trade, and supporting exporters and connecting with their global markets. Thank you as well to Minister Kahlon for championing the use of mass timber and innovation in the forest sector and for all you've done for supporting BC's business throughout the pandemic. And lastly, I'd like to recognize our team. Thank you very much.
Well, Ken, congratulations. As president and CEO, I would imagine there's no preceding president and CEO that has had the year that you've had to have. Tell me something. What's been the biggest challenge for you this year?
Well, as everybody's already mentioned, the pandemic definitely threw a monkey wrench into things. We were in the middle of commissioning our facility when the pandemic hit. The equipment we purchased, a lot of it is from Europe. And so we had BC government actually helped us a lot in creating a plan, a COVID plan, to allow these people to come in and commission the facility. Otherwise, a small company like us that took the risk we took on this investment was really going to be in trouble had those people professionals not been able to come and commission the facility. So it's been a challenge from that side, but I have to say that we're very lucky, I guess is a word that I would use, to have the team that we have here and the hard work that everybody put in, and we were able to maneuver through those challenges.
I mean, as an 80-year company, you would have been a massive loss if things had begun to falter in all of this. But does the fact that you've had this longevity provide you with enough institutional experience, enough experience inside the firm, and enough of a reach into global markets to frankly, to weather this awful storm?
Yeah, I think I'll give a lot of credit to our people. Everybody came together. The culture we have here is fantastic, and I think over the years we've really worked hard at growing that. We've also worked very hard at growing a reputation of a company that supplies high quality product, and I think that's helped us. People recognize the name, and therefore has helped us through these difficult times. But looking forward, it's pretty positive. We're very optimistic. We're very confident in the future of mass timber, and we hope that this will go for another 10 generations.
Wow. Well, you're looking healthy, but I want to ask you a question that I ask a fair number of people who are leading companies right now. Do you like your job better than you did a year ago?
It's funny. For me, I have two very strong children. Okay, take a breath. And they're very dedicated to the company. So that really helps. And having everybody else here believing in the company, very important. Go ahead.
Ken, I didn't expect to make anyone well up, but that's so genuine, and I really appreciate the authenticity of you thanking your family, thanking your children, and the kind of support that they've had. And as I'm sure you were a supporter to generations before you. So congratulations again.
Thank you so much, Kirk.
Well, congratulations, Ken, and to the team at KALESNIKOFF on today's award. Our fourth category is in professional services. I'll again hand the virtual stage back to Minister Kahlon to make the presentation.
The Professional Services Award acknowledges companies and organizations that provide key advice, technical support, or educational programs. Exporting high-value services and technological know-how is a growing area of Canada's international trade opportunities. These finalists build successful relationships all over the globe by providing high-value, quality service solutions that are practical and economical for their clients. So let's have a look.
CODAN Communications is a trusted provider of radio communications products and solutions that help customers protect, inform, and save lives. CODAN is renowned globally for protecting and serving communities through communications, whether used for conducting a search and rescue, containing a wildfire, maintaining public safety, or providing security at a high-profile event. MTU Maintenance Canada is the North American member of MTU Maintenance Network of Companies, the largest independent provider of commercial engine maintenance services worldwide. The company repairs and overhauls engines and accessories and performs engine tests. MTU Maintenance also provides technical and logistics support, custom-made spare parts services, personalized work scoping, and warranty administration. TOPFLIGHT has distinguished itself internationally as the world's premier mountain training school. Elite pilots from around the world train at the company's state-of-the-art facility. TOPFLIGHT is the first school to be accredited by Airbus Helicopters and Bell Helicopters, meeting strict requirements for mountain training.
And the winner is TOPFLIGHT Elite Training.
Well, congratulations, TOPFLIGHT. I want to introduce Dave Schwarzenberger is going to be talking to us. He's the general manager of TOPFLIGHT to accept the awards.
Thank you, Kirk. Congratulations to the other nominees, and we're extremely pleased to receive this award. So on behalf of TOPFLIGHT Elite Training and Charter Services, I'd like to thank the BC Expert Awards, of course, for this award and recognition of our company. We're a very unique BC-born business, and we support aviation safety worldwide through specialized helicopter pilot training. And in order to be successful in the long term, we do rely on, in part, the BC government, which is very involved in this today. And I'd like to thank both the ministers in attendance, the Honorable George Chow and Honorable Ravi Kahlon, for their support and their continued full support in the future of our business. And lastly, I'd like to thank TOPFLIGHT employees and our management group for all their support and efforts. It's really allowed TOPFLIGHT to become a world-renowned, world-class business right here in British Columbia. Thank you, Kirk.
Dave, I'm not going to let you go without a couple of questions. Okay, well, that's great. Good to see you, and congratulations again. You know, it's everybody's talked about how their companies have, you know, have depended a lot on their teams to step up to during this difficult time. A lot of companies have had to really change their plans almost entirely in order to get through this. But what's the one thing that you can point to in the last year that you think really is going to stick out when you look back, say in 5 or 10 years, on what kind of 2020 we've all had?
Yeah, this has been especially difficult for a business such as ours, where we rely on our product or services face-to-face, human-to-human, and obviously with travel restrictions, border restrictions, very difficult to move on. But I think the diversity of these businesses in BC is important, as people have mentioned, and for us, we've been able to still provide our training, especially to the military forces, where they've been able to attend our training center. And we've also been able to go to different places all over the world to provide our services as well. But again, very difficult with the type of business we're in. So I can't really point to anything directly, but obviously we have done more online training like this, but it's something very practical, hands-on that our company provides.
When we think about what our impressions were of the pandemic and what our concerns were at the beginning, you know, we were talking about not touching our faces and, you know, keeping away from surfaces, and then it became more of an airborne issue and all of that. Your company must have had to make about 3 or 4 different little pivots in all of this in order to keep the motor running.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we have our COVID crash carts in the hangar, and we're obviously being very cleanly and making sure aircraft are good to fly. But definitely some challenges, Kirk, and I know every company throughout the province has dealt with, and we're no exception. And definitely a lot of protocols and a lot of innovation to try and continue to operate like we did prior to the pandemic. So definitely a challenge that we accepted and have been doing okay with.
And has it been possible for you to actually build international markets, to keep scouting for export opportunities and all of this? Did it take some time when everything got pretty dark there for you to keep that kind of momentum?
Yeah, definitely. I think it allowed us to, we weren't quite as busy, so it allowed a bit more concentration on what are we going to do after the pandemic has improved. And that really allowed us to look at different markets and really explore different markets. And my worry now is the door is going to get kicked in when this is all over, and we'll be extremely busy, but a good problem to have.
It is a great problem to have. Now, then the last question about that, if that door gets kicked in, if you get really busy, are you able to recruit all that easily? Is that a big challenge too, the onboarding of employees and making sure that, in your case in particular, you have some real specifications to demand of your employees?
Sure. For example, one of our specialized helicopter pilot instructors, it's almost a year of training before they're able to really do what we need them to do with customers and our military and government customers. So we've been very fortunate. Our management group has been very supportive, and we've kept our full staff, even though we have had a reduction. But we're ready. We're ready to hit the ground running and really take that full onslaught of our customers from all over the world on, and be able to provide the training that they're really they're sourcing out and looking for. So that's been the good part, is we've been able to set up the future and some of these opportunities internationally moving forward.
Well, good luck in encountering that problem, Dave.
Yes, thank you.
And thank you to our 4 winners today, but don't go away yet. And so we want to thank TOPFLIGHT, Big Mountain Foods, Global Relay, and KALESNIKOFF for their honors. Before we get to our Exporter of the Year, however, I had the opportunity to talk to Minister Kahlon about some of his strategies in the early going of his new Ministry of Economic Recovery. Well, Minister Kahlon, thanks a lot for joining us. I want to get to, first of all, a bit of a top of the wave kind of understanding about the nature of the role that you've taken on here with economic recovery.
Yeah, thanks, Kirk. Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be on the program with you. And certainly when the Premier was making calls and asking people what they would be interested in, I did say I was interested in a jobs economic development portfolio. And then he put it on steroids by putting economic recovery into it. And so a lot of the work we're doing right now is obviously ensuring the supports are there for small businesses and people, but at the same time, looking at our programs and saying, how has COVID changed and how are the needs changing, and trying to adjust our programs according to the needs from, in particular, the business sector. And then very soon from here, we're starting to shift into what does the restart look like? And then what does the future look like? You know, we can't be thinking about, going back to normal. Everyone understands it's going to be a new normal. And so we're starting to get into that. What does that new normal look like for the province? And it's just pretty exciting stuff, actually.
I mean, you have this interesting background in coming into politics, and that you're coming from the field of athletics. You've been a coach. So I want to know, now that you're a cabinet minister, how is being a minister like being a coach and in the recovery?
Yeah, well, I was fortunate to represent Canada in 2 Olympics, and so that experience in sport actually positioned me really well for this, because the same drive and passion for excellence is what you have to have in this role. You become anyone that's played a high level sport will tell you that you become very process oriented as opposed to outcome oriented. So I focus on what I'm going to do day to day. I say I grind, but every single day is an opportunity to make things better for the province and my file. And the other thing you learn about sport that helps you here is about leadership. And what's critical in sport is, in some games you're the person out in front, and in some games you're the person in behind. And at all times of sport, and same in this ministry, it's about surrounding yourself with good people and making them better. And so those are kind of the principles I use in the work I do here.
Then let me adopt your approach on process and talk about what were the early priorities in stabilizing, supporting the economy.
Well, we're fortunate here in BC. I know that a lot of businesses are still struggling, and it's difficult. I mean, my family ran a a restaurant for a decade over here, and we didn't have to deal with pandemic. It was hard enough. And so I can appreciate how hard it is for folks that are trying to adjust their entire business practices to continue to operate. But we're fortunate that, we're the only jurisdiction west of New Brunswick that still has in-restaurant dining. We had construction go all the way through without any major disruptions. Our manufacturing sector continued to operate. But we're seeing challenging times for tourism and hospitality industry nevertheless. And so one of the first tasks for me was to look at our programming and say, how can we make this better? I believe that nothing is good enough. Everything can be better. And so the first thing we did was sit down with folks from hospitality, from the tourism sector, and say, okay, here are the programming we have. What would you like to do to make this more accessible to your members? And so I'm proud that one of the first things we did was rehaul the small business grant program just to make it more responsive to folks. And we're going to need to continue to do that. As I've said, the pandemic keeps changing. And so does government. Government needs to change with that as well. And that's been my main goal in the first few months.
So we're gathered for the BC Export Awards, and I want to get a bit of a sense from you as you think about, of course, the domestic recovery, but obviously the recovery has to be there as well for the export sector. What are the specific needs that you're seeing here in the pandemic? Yeah, well, we have a very resilient economy here in BC, and so even though we haven't been able to do some of the things that we need to do, we continue to see huge opportunities. I was just reading a piece on Biden and what it means for the new president and what that means for BC. And I think that we also, there's a double-edged sword. A part of me is a little worried about the Buy America piece. And so, I'm looking forward to speaking to the ambassador and consul general what that means and how that'll affect us. But I'm also looking forward to some opportunities. They have a very focused agenda on clean economy and addressing climate change. And we produce the most low carbon products in the world. And so not only do we produce the lowest carbon products, we also have an opportunity because our supply chain is green. And so I think we have huge opportunities for exporting not only our low carbon products, whether it's the resource sector or whatever, but we also have huge opportunities, I believe, in exporting our climate change solutions with the rest of the world. And so we'll be putting a lot of focus in on our manufacturing sector. We're going to be putting together an economic recovery framework, and manufacturing and export is going to be a critical part of that. Will that be around budget time, or when will that be, do you think? Well, I think, we're not out of this pandemic now. And so our focus will be continuing to support the economy and providing stability during this time. I think we'll start seeing a little bit of discussion about the restart there. But I think from now to probably the fall is where we're going to be doing a lot of consultation to getting an understanding of what does the future economy look like, and then we'll be rolling out some of the critical pieces from there. But I learned early on, Kirk, when I was working on bringing back a human rights commission for BC, and I went to speak to Indigenous leaders about human rights, and they said to me, "Are you talking about your human rights, or are you talking about our human rights?" And one of the elders pulled me aside and said, I'll give you some advice my uncle gave me, which is listen, learn, and then lead, and always do it in that order. And so that's what I've been doing as a minister, is going out, listening and learning from folks who are in the sector. And our hope is to put together a framework after that consultation is done. Well, you alluded to the diversification issue that is so prominent. Minister Chow was earlier talking about this. We benefit from being neighbors of the United States and having this great shipping lane and access to Asia, particularly to China and all of this. But is trade diversification almost job one right now? Well, it's a critical part of the entire components of what we have to do. We have to relook at everything. We have to relook at how we produce our food, where the food is coming from. The pandemic has really shooken up a lot of that. And we do have obviously some disputes with the U.S. still, and we'll see what happens from with the new Biden administration. But also we see huge opportunities as well, because they have a real focus on
climate change, and it was clear on the first days of their mandate. We produce the lowest carbon intensive products in the world. And so now it's not even looking at the product itself and how it's manufactured, but also its supply chains. And so I think we have huge opportunities to export to our existing partners, but I think there's opportunities to look at new partners as well. And that's something certainly we're going to be exploring in the coming months to years.
And so there are some great strengths, obviously, to the British Columbian economy, some real pillars there. You can talk about those, but I also want to get an understanding from you about what you consider to be the critical uncertainties for this time that are going to need attention in the near future.
Yeah, I think there's uncertainty everywhere. Certainly, I hear in the meetings that I've been having, and you know, in the short term, it's going to be a challenge for all of us because you know we're looking at this vaccine rollout. You know, how fast will it be produced? How fast can we get people vaccinated? How long will it take? How long will the vaccine be effective for? And so all these pieces and the new variants added a lot of uncertainty. But as we see the rollout continuing to progress, as has been laid out, our hope is with Q3, Q4, we start to see a real rebound as people maybe are able to travel within the province and business can go back to some sort of normal, but it'll be a new normal. It won't be the way it was before. But I'm really optimistic about the opportunities we have ahead of us as a province. And real opportunities about both attracting investment and also exporting our goods.
You come from this background of sport, and you talked earlier about process, and obviously you have a lot of discipline about the way that you have your purpose. But you also, I would imagine, have a pretty good sense of visualization as an athlete. And I want to talk about whether you can foresee some timelines here for certain elements of our recovery.
Yeah, certainly the budget will be an important piece of setting the frame of where we're going to go. But we're going to need to ensure that we focus on providing the supports that people and businesses need right now, because we're not out of the pandemic. But we're going to continue to listen and learn and engage with folks in communities. And the focus will be putting on economic framework probably in the fall to lay out where we're going to go, not for where the economy was or where it is going next year, but where is it going to go in 10, 20 years, and really looking at the big picture. And part of that focus will be for us is innovation. We know that this recovery will be led by innovation. It'll be focused on sustainability. We need to meet our climate change objectives. And it needs to be focused on being inclusive. We need to ensure that everybody gets a chance to participate in economic growth, and that'll be a focus for us.
I'm probably not the first one to mention this, but your title of Economic Recovery Minister probably is a job that you want to work yourself out of, isn't it?
Well, my focus is on the economic recovery piece right now, but within the title, I think is the path where we need to go. Innovation is going to be critical. It's going to lead us to where I think the province has the greatest potential. And of course, the jobs come with that. But I've never been too much for titles, and for me, the main thing is getting the work done, helping us position BC as a leader in the world in low carbon products. It's going to be a focus for us as a government, and again, I think there's huge opportunities for us as a province going forward.
Well, Mr. Kahlon, great seeing you today. Thanks a lot for your time.
Yeah, thank you for having me, Kirk.
Our thanks to Minister Kahlon, who's of course the BC Minister of Jobs, Innovation and the Economic Recovery. And of course, our thanks to Minister George Chow, Minister of State for Trade. Now today, we have one more award left, and that's for our Exporter of the Year. It comes among the 4 winners already in the afternoon. So I'm going to bring it back to Minister Kahlon to make this presentation.
Our final award today selects from among our 4 category winners, the Exporter of the Year. It is always the most difficult of the choices among such clearly accomplished firms. Our congratulations to award winners in each category: KALESNIKOFF, Big Mountain Foods, TOPFLIGHT Elite Training, and Global Relay. And our Exporter of the Year is, I'm proud to announce, Global Relay. Congratulations. Well,
congratulations to Global Relay. And again, I'd like to invite Kelvin Ng from the company to come back and say a few words. So good to have you back here, Kelvin.
Thank you so much, Kirk. And wow, that's a little bit of a surprise and super special, particularly in view of seeing and hearing from the various companies who were the other finalists. It's really inspiring, and it just makes it even more rewarding to kind of be a business person. And I know, I'm amongst a really good company here, and it's business has always been my career path, and I did it for a reason, and I think we all do it for a reason, which is to create opportunities for people around us and for our community. So this is indeed just a massive honor for us. And as we expand our corporate footprint, that is one thing that we keep in the back of our minds all the time. We just want to bring opportunities back to our people and our community here. And so we'll do our best to do you proud and kind of earn our place for being the recipient of this great honor.
I'm sure you will, Kelvin. I want to say on behalf of the 4 judges that this was a very, very difficult choice. The 4 terrific winners, all of them coming in a way at issues in the last year from a slightly different perspective in some cases because of the age of their company, of course, and some of the specific challenges they had. If you had to look back at one specific challenge that you believe that you've pretty much overcome in the years, is there one to point to?
Well, I think the biggest challenge is one that we're still dealing with, and that is how do we stay engaged with people through these circumstances? Because, we're super thankful that we have the technology such as this to bring everybody together and continue to maintain business. But there really is no substitute for human face-to-face interaction. And I think we all miss that to a large extent. We're just making the best of it as business people do. So I think that's the big one. How do we keep people connected through this, maintaining a sense of teamwork, maintaining a sense of culture that we've worked very, very hard as an organization to build for, well, as long as we've been around. And that has been the big hurdle for us. And we continue to try innovative things. We have cultural programs, but as I say, we're all hoping and praying for that day, and hopefully it comes soon where we can have physical interaction again.
Yeah, the physical interaction will be great. Do you anticipate that there is, though, going to be a bit of a permanent shift? Will Global Relay have the same numbers of people day after day coming in to the place and dealing with things, or can you see there being a hybrid or almost a permanent remote work thing emerging for your company?
Right. I think it's going to be a hybrid model for us, Kurt. We know that, everybody approaches things like pandemics in a different way, and there are different levels of comfort, and we want to be respectful of everybody and meet them where they are. That's part of our obligation and responsibility, right, as an employer. So there is going to be no move to bring people back physically, but then there are others who really want to get back as quickly as possible. And so we're looking for the right balance as we move forward in terms of securing space and looking at what kind of facilities we build. And in fact, we're renovating in Gastown right now. So we are taking some of the lessons learned through COVID and trying to apply them, and obviously speculating a bit and guessing a bit, but in hopefully an educated way. But to answer your question directly, I do anticipate a hybrid model, and yeah, and then we'll leave people to find their own comfort within that.
Yeah. Last question. I mean, obviously, for nominees and for the winners today, awards can be very good for employee morale. And morale, I think, everywhere has always been under some stress over the last year. Can you point to something that has really inspired you in terms of the morale of the people at Global Relay to really give us a sense of how it is that you almost fight your way through a pandemic like this?
Yes. We try to provide some leadership to channel the energy and the desire of our people to do positive things. So one recent example was being located in Gastown. Vancouverites all know that our retailers and our restaurants have really suffered over the course of the past year. So because we could not do a staff Christmas party this year, what we did was we worked in collaboration with the Gastown Business Society and handed out $200 gift cards for Gastown to every employee in lieu of the gathering, so that we could kind of find something to bring our people together in a cohesive way, and to also put a little bit of an injection back into the neighborhood here. And so things like that do wonders for people. They were very glad that we could do something like that. And the cooler thing is quite a number of our people took their cards and in turn just gave it to charity in our community. So the food bank benefited a lot from it. So that's one example. And we continue to do things like this. So we're not just trying to maintain the bonds with individual employees, but also to kind of channel our investments into a direction which inspires people to be charitable and to be helpful.
Well, there's no question the pandemic is teaching so many of us so many new things. One of the things I think that you're speaking of is the relationship to your community and how important that is. The one thing I don't think we're going to need to be taught, however, though, Kelvin, is once all of this is done, is how to celebrate and how to party. So I'm going to let you defer that until the appropriate moment, and wish you a very happy party when you finally get it together.
I'm going to take you up on that. I'm always happy to accept that challenge.
Kelvin, thanks so much. Congratulations for being Exporter of the Year at Global Relay.
Thank you again, Kirk, and thank you to Business in Vancouver, and congratulations to the other nominees once again. And keep up the great work, guys. You're what makes Vancouver the great place it is.
Yeah, thank you. I want to thank our winners, of course, our nominees today, for their outstanding leadership in British Columbia. I want to thank the province of British Columbia for its support of this event through some challenging times, I think you might admit, and even a challenging hour here that we've spent today technically. We intend to be back next year with a full in-person event. On behalf of BIV, on behalf of our technical director, Albert Van Sandvoort, on behalf of Haley Wooden, who was narrating a lot of the work and describing our nominees, I'm Kirk Lapointe. Thanks a lot for watching today. Thank you for supporting this competition, for nominating, for participating, and we'll see you next year in person.